Hey YouTube, this is Pecktec, and I'm going to make a video today that I've been planning on making for a long time. And basically, this video is going to be me touring every place there is to buy fish in Knoxville. I'm not looking for any particular fish. I just thought it'd be neat to kind of show you what's actually available in my town. We are very fortunate to have a lot of really good fish stores. For the local ones, I'm going to attempt to buy a little something, maybe in each one, just to show support. Probably not a lot. I have my cooler with me, so if I see a fish I gotta have, I'll get that too. But why don't we take a drive around town, and we're gonna go to the big box stores, the local fish stores, everything. I want to try to find every place that sells fish in Knoxville and show you what opportunities you have for retail here. 12:15. Okay, so this probably won't be easy. There's actually a lot of places in town to go, so I'm going to do my best to do them justice, you know, and go see it. But because of that, I'm probably not going to have a whole lot of time to spend in each individual place. So I'm going to quickly and as fairly as I can go through each of these places and just kind of give you a little overview and maybe a brief review what I think of them each time we go out. What do you think? Sound fun? Hope so. What a glorious day. I gotta say, I'm so happy that I've got Friday off and I can do this. It is gorgeous out here. Look at the colors. It is gorgeous out here, and oh man, I can't wait to get to those fish stores.
Gone fishing. Bye.
All right, we're at stop number 1, the Quiet Marine.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Awesome.
So in a lot of these shops, they had music playing in the background. And I actually did do commentary on a lot of these things, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of re-record it. Maybe it'd be a little bit easier to see. I might throw a little music in the background and make it nice for you guys. This store, I've shopped at for a long time. This is a fairly new store though. It's been redone. It's been purchased by another person, and I did an interview with Kenny in 2019, I think, right when he had opened the store. Unfortunately, within his second year, you know, COVID hit and there were lockdowns, and he's had some difficulty, but he keeps grinding away, trying to make the store work, and I think that that's very admirable. The tanks all look really clean. He's done a lot of work on all these things. He's put this stuff together from other stores and other places, and really done a lot of work to kind of make a nice store out of it. I apologize for the camera work is a little bit more herky-jerky than I'd like to do. What I'm doing here is just trying to show you as much of the store as possible. I'm not going for any kind of cinematic effectiveness in this, and hopefully I'm not making you too dizzy. But this is a big store. Probably this and the aquarium are the two places with the largest selection of fish and dry goods. So definitely if you're in North Knoxville, this is going to be the close place that has all the stuff. Especially, and the prices are comparable to the big box stores. I mean, within reason. They don't carry the same kinds of things. They have much higher quality things here. In terms here and the other places that we're going to go to, they have a much higher quality of goods than usually you'd see at PetSmart. Some of the same things, some other things. There's really a wide variety of stuff here in this store. If I were a saltwater person, there would be even more here for me. I'm not, but but they have a whole lot of saltwater stuff. So you salty fellas and gals that like this sort of thing, yeah, there's a lot to shop for here. I am so glad personally that I'm not into frags, because I'm always, every time I go through here, I'm like, oh, you know, I would like this one and this one and this one, and I think I'd probably spend all my money on that if I let myself. They do have a wide selection of other things, different kinds of lights, tanks, all the basic kind of fish store stuff. They got a bunch of rimless tanks and different things like that. Wide varieties of foods and stuff like that. This store, like many of the other stores in town, is well stocked, and I'm glad to see it. One thing that's really cool about this store, I like the way they've got their hardscape laid out. This is where I bought those my shrimp playground. But they have their hardscape laid out really, really well, and they've got a little dojo in the back with like some helper things. So especially if you're new to aquascaping and you don't have a bunch of these resources at home, it's great to be able to play with them right here and really figure out what you need. Like here's a 20 long kind of laid out for you. These would be real easy to make at home if you like to just like make hardscapes all the time, I guess. And this is primarily for playing with the rocks and the wood. I love that they have this here at the back to kind of help people out. Oh, look, and there's different racks, so different sizes that you want to play with. Really great idea for a hardscape dojo, and it's aptly placed right here next to all their hardscape stuff. This is probably my favorite part of the store, aside from the fish themselves. I'm going to take some of this too. Okay. Oh, look at this. All right, that's one down. Managed to get out of there just buying just a couple of things, but I'll probably have to be back for that scarlet batis. I just want to make sure I got a place for it, because it was gorgeous. That was the fish, and I think maybe every place I go, if there's a fish that I wish I'd been able to take home, because I can't promise, I don't have room for lots of stuff. So if there was a wish, I wish I could have. If there is a fish I wish I could have taken home, then that will also be identified. And in this place, it was definitely that scarlet batis, or there were a few in there that looked good, but I saw one I really wanted. Hey Siri, navigate to Petco.
One possibility is Petco on Kingston Pike in Knoxville, about 4 miles to your south, and it gets 2.5 stars on Yelp. Is that the one you're looking for?
Yes. think my favorite thing in this store is this waterfall setup. Like, I would have done it differently, maybe a little bit, but I love these tiered things. I'd love to make one of these one day. There's some Ember Tetras. I love those. Pretty decent price too. What's that? Huh. Some little rainbows, some little blue eyes, of some sort. I'm not sure what kind that is. Neat. I'd like to get my lizard some food, so maybe I'll pick this up here. But look at this. What are these? Hornworms. I've never heard of them. I don't see anything. Where are they? All right, they actually did pretty good. A lot better than I've seen from maybe this store in the past. So I think they've like cleaned up their shop in there. It looks good. I have no relationship with these folks or the any of the other pet stores like that, like the big box stores. They don't know who I am or care, and I don't expect them to. That's an important thing to note. The local fish stores know me because I'm there a lot. But between all the couple of local fish stores we have are really the better places to buy fish normally. But they had a really clean setup in there, and I thought that was great. Those baby convict cichlids made me want a convict cichlid, although I know I don't want one of those. or a couple of them, or 100 of them. Those baby convicts were really cool. And what was the other thing I saw? Right, and that one too. So that's a fish maybe that if I had room for, I'd be tempted to take home today. But on to the next one. I think we'll go to the aquarium, a place we've been to a lot. We're just going to take a quick look around, and I'll see you in a minute. All right, so this is probably the one you've seen the most out of all of these. But we're going to take a quick look around and see what they got for sale today. Hello.
How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
Not bad.
Good. So here's all of their hardscape. Not all. This is a lot of the wood here. And sometimes they have other different things too, but this is where I bought so much of my hardscape over the years. This rack system's really nice. Really good way to display it, and they have a good variety of different things. So that's nice. The aquarium has a lot of different things to offer. I think they probably had the biggest selection in town of dry goods and aquariums especially. They have a really wide variety of these different types of rimless tanks and stuff. These are the kinds of things you don't see, you don't really see in the big box stores at all. Really cool, higher end kind of things. Higher end in some ways and more basic and more affordable in other ways. So, and they have lots of good examples and all the lights and the substrate and everything else that you need to be successful, you know, these kind of classy planted tanks like that. And I love that they have some examples. You can buy them all the way set up if you're so inclined. That's not for me, obviously. And I spent a whole lot of time back here in the back. This is their freshwater section. They have a really large freshwater section and a really large saltwater section. I'm sort of blazing through here with the camera. They were in the middle of doing water changes or something like that, and I didn't want to get in the way too much. But yeah, there's really always a great selection of fish to be had here, and I usually come in just because this is the store that's the closest that has a lot of stuff. So if I only have a few minutes on the weekend to go shopping for fish, I would probably come by here, and I check here regularly to see if they have new plants or new fish that I might like. And all the tiny fish, not all of them, but a lot of the tiny little fish that I've bought out of maybe like, I guess 4 or 5 racks here at this particular store. They have bigger fish too. They have a really, it seems vast, especially with an angle like this, but they've got it laid out really well. A couple of really great rows of different types of fish. They have a quarantine procedure and stuff too, like any good fish store. They do the best they can to get you good quality fish, and I really appreciate that. It's lucky to have them. Look at that big centipoma. I love seeing the big centipomas there. It makes me miss my fish. 50 centipoma. They have a really wide range of fish here. That's what's interesting too. From like the 50 cent, little tiny tetras to these really glorious discus fish. So their freshwater selection is great. This place has been around for a really long time. This place easily predates me in the hobby and probably many other people. This store has been going for a long time, and they've had a long time to kind of perfect a lot of things. Again, if I were a saltwater person, there would be probably another 2/3 of the store to be really enthralled with. Now, I like to come through and photograph stuff like this now and then and show you guys, but yeah, I don't spend much time in the saltwater areas of these places a lot. Occasionally I'll kind of go through and just kind of look at things. I saw a crab here that I thought was really cool looking, and sometimes I think, man, it'd be really neat to keep some of these crazy creatures and stuff, but I kind of like it. I like it a little bit more simple, just my planted tanks and those fish. But boy, saltwater fish are gorgeous, and they have a really wide
looking guy.
This
Pretty
thing?
cool. Yeah. Those things look awesome.
So does that have an overflow built in?
It wasn't built in, but they had it where they...
They've attached one.
Yep.
That's pretty cool. It's got a little weir kind of attached right here on this side. So that's nice. I think this is the stand I have for my other tank. Cool. That looks sweet.
Nice getting good footage.
I'm going to every store in town today.
The rain tour?
Yeah, I'm doing the tour of all of Knoxville. Oh, look at that big red frog in there. Oh, that was fun as always. They're real comfortable with me having a camera there. Kind of like, not unlike Aquatic Marine, who, you know, Kenny doesn't care and Ralph doesn't care over here if I film the store. They know I'll be fair. I think that's the case. I didn't buy anything just now just because the fish that I wish I'd gotten to bring home, I'm probably going to come back for later this weekend. They have these pygmy cories, and it looks like they have a bunch of pygmy cories. And I was gonna get them, but I've got a couple more stops to make, and I don't want them to sit in my car. I've got a cooler and stuff, but it's still, you know, it's like 63 degrees outside. They'd probably be fine in the cooler inside the car where it's a little bit warmer, but I want to bring them home right, so I'm going to do it a little bit later. Okay, so I'm trying to think of what. Okay. There's another fish store in town, and they don't know me very well. It is a local fish store. It's the closest one, probably to my house. And, but it's a small place, and I haven't been in there very often, but let's go next. Hopefully they're cool. So with the big box stores, I tend to want to film with my phone. I've got this DSLR with a, you know, microphone with like red cables and stuff. And it just looks a little bit more, I don't know, it looks probably a little bit more intimidating than just me with my phone doing something. So I guess really the next closest store is going to be PetSmart. And I don't want to walk in there with this. So it's going to be camera phone again. Let's see PetSmart. Alright, so this is kind of new that they do now. They have paying a little bit more attention to aquascaping materials, and I noticed they have these boxes and stuff. So this is something I really like to see, especially like in a town where maybe they didn't have the options that we have here. It'd be really nice to get dragonstone. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I wish I'd had a resource for that, so that's pretty cool. It's a little expensive, but probably about the equivalent to shipping it, so it's a big box of rocks. So I think that'd be all right. and a little bit more variety in their wood and not just the fake stuff that they usually have. So I like that. Okay, I didn't buy anything there. There were no fish there that I wish that I had or anything. There's a lot of fish I wish I could save because the tanks really look dirty. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, the tanks generally looked unkept and just not very clean and stuff. So they have a really huge filtration system in there. And I think they should learn to use it properly. Maybe maintain their tanks a little bit better. Gosh, I'm just so disappointed. We shop there a lot, that particular one, a lot for cat food and stuff like that, just because of where it is. It's really convenient and has a lot of stuff. And they have more fish stuff than the next place we're going to go. But I don't know. I can't say I was very impressed with them today. They've looked better at other times, but yeah, not super impressed. Good job. All right, so our next location is a local fish store. This is kind of a tiny fish store, and I've shopped there a few times, but I don't think I've ever been in there with a camera. So I'll bring the big camera and see what they say. Hopefully they don't get too upset or anything. I don't know why they would, but I just don't know them very well. I guess I still get a little bit nervous kind of coming in to a place and filming, especially with the bigger camera and stuff. So, but hopefully they're cool about it. We'll see in a second. Wow, I love your counter there. I haven't ever seen that done. That's great.
Oh yeah, it's pretty cool. We got 125 in here. This is our little predator tank here.
It's a 125. Okay.
Yeah, it's a 125. This is Pete's tank. Pete's over here behind the rocks over here. I think he's sleeping. He's a porcupine puffer.
Oh yeah, I see him.
Yeah, that's Pecktec. He's
Cuddled in back there.
Yeah, he's like our unofficial mascot.
He's a mascot for the store.
Yeah, he's so cool. Yeah, I think I've seen a few videos.
I've been making them for about 13 years. A lot of Fluval stuff.
There are two reasons why you may want your skimmer to stay off for a couple
That's the ones that people tend to have seen, like the Fluval Flex and Specs and stuff like that. Oh yeah? Hey, thanks for letting me look around.
Alright, see you, buddy.
See ya.
Have a good one, man. Thanks for stopping by.
You're welcome, thank you. So, what a neat place. It's small. I didn't see, I have bought fish there before. Occasionally they've had fish that the other places haven't had, one or two. And it's always real personal one-on-one because it's just such a small store. It's basically, you know, one big room with a little bit of dry goods and some saltwater stuff. If I was into saltwater, there'd be even more there for me. But they do look like they have some stuff. If you had some planted tank needs, and they have stuff if you have some saltwater needs. So, and the tanks look clean. I mean, they're not a vast amounts of them and stuff, but what they had looked good. So, give them a thumbs up. I'll have to go back there again. So as you can see, the sun is going down. I am gonna hit another store. So I went to Pecktec, but another place we shop at quite a bit, mostly again because of the cat, is a Pet Supplies Plus. I have bought fish there before, very rarely, and but it's another place to go buy fish in Knoxville, so we're gonna check it out. This is a Marineland setup that they used to sell them in Walmarts. Marineland used to sell them to Walmarts to keep their fish and stuff. I've seen them show up used before, and they're actually really, really cool little devices. The tanks today look pretty clean. Obviously, I'm not water testing them or anything, but I don't see anything amiss. Looks good. Some plants. Oops. And lizards, if you're into lizards. Let's look at their hard goods, or dry goods. Yeah, that's right, dry goods. They're still selling betas this way. Looks like they got about half an aisle with some food, some filters, some decor. No real aquascaping stuff, just like, you know, the fakey stuff. I think the thing they're most famous for at this shop is the $1 per gallon sale that they occasionally have, where you can get pretty good deals on tanks. I know I've gotten a lot of these 10-gallon tanks before, and the 20-gallon ones. That's Pet Supplies Plus. Overall, not a bad store. Really a pretty poor selection for advanced people. It had a lot of the basics. So if you're like, just need some dechlorinator or maybe a water test or something like that, or if you don't care much for your decor, you're going for like the pre-made decor and stuff like that versus real rocks and wood and planted tank stuff. Probably would be all right. Their fish tanks didn't look too bad. I have seen them look a lot worse than they look today. to be fair. But good on them for keeping their tanks up, you know, on a random day when I just happened to show up. It's funny, I feel a little awkward saying stuff like that, like I'm the arbiter of like what a good aquarium looks like. But I mean, I guess I am. I mean, I've spent a long time building aquariums and trying to keep them nice, and I've never tried to maintain a big system like that though, so maybe I'm being a little bit too judgmental. I didn't see any fish I really wanted in there, not because they looked unhealthy or anything like that, but just because there was nothing I was specifically looking for today. All right, so I think I was wrong. I don't think there is a bunch of these of the Pet Supply Pluses left, so maybe this was the only one. I might be wrong about that, but the only other fish store in town to go to now would be the PetSmart at Turkey Creek, which is a little ways from here. So let's buckle in. Keys. Usually Holly will come over here and look at cats, and I look at aquariums. Ooh. That sign can be good news. Well, that was quick. With that sign there, I didn't really feel like there was any point in photographing anything. Although the tanks didn't look all that bad, obviously something's going on in their system and they're trying to isolate that so they don't pass it on, so they get points for that. But the rest of the store looked just like the other store. They have a lot of good stuff. The general big box store stuff. The prices weren't a lot better though than some of the local fish stores here, so I'd still say go local. Although what I will say is a lot of these stores, they have a little bit different brands from one thing to the other. So if you have a preference, you might only be able to find it at PetSmart versus you know, maybe your local store. But the local stores are, especially in my town, the local stores are better. From the small JKS to the older, more established aquarium to the new hip aquatic marine, all those stores are very unique and very. I'm so happy to have them in town to go to. And this doesn't mean necessarily knocking big box stores. I mean, a lot of my early fish keeping was spent in these big box stores and stuff. So they have their place too. That moment when you remember you have another camera. I think there are probably a few more places in town to get fish and fish supplies, but that's the main ones. We're very fortunate to have such a great couple of local stores. Hopefully I didn't miss another local store. There's been a couple of things pop up, and there's places that are close by, like Jefferson City. I say close by, but that's like 45 minutes away. So I don't really consider that like a Knoxville store. That was sort of my focus with this particular video. I really want to send a huge shout out to my Patreon friends here who have helped me out in making this show better. I really appreciate your help. I didn't do a lot of shopping on this particular trip, but you know, there's always a project going, and your continued support really means a lot to me to kind of keep those things going. I appreciate it. Oh, and I've got a special surprise for you for Christmas. So I'm going to look for a post there real soon with a little treat for you. All right, folks, thank you so much for joining me on this trip around Knoxville, looking at all our local fish stores, or most of our local fish stores. Definitely all the places I've bought fish. There have been a few more that have gone out of business, I think, but I think I've hit every store that I ever shopped at here in Knoxville. Hey, if you like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you click the like button. And if you're new and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I'd love to get to 50,000. I've just turned 50. I like to hit 50,000 at the same time. I think I can do that. I'm just a little bit away. Why don't you push me over that edge? And I'll see you later. I've done more extensive videos on a couple of these stores back in my history, and I hope you'll check it out. If you look right here, here's a video that YouTube thinks you'll like, and down below it is a playlist with every aquarium video I've ever made. I've been on for a long time, and feel free to peruse through there and find something else you like. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.